Okay, we're on 31, and after doing 31, I didn't think it was a difficult problem, but we get through it, we got an answer, and then the question goes is we're also trying to learn how to use software to do these problems over here, and it's important to use your head when you're using software as well, because sometimes software is going to choke on something, and this is a good example that you might be confused by what happens using Sage, and I just want to briefly go through that with you. Again, I'm not an expert in using Sage, but I see a warning immediately. It says integration of absolute or sign assumes constant sign by intervals. Wow, this is really crazy, huh? And then they kind of go through that and they say something, and then all of a sudden they spit this back here. All right, let's go back to the original problem, and let's just talk about maybe the domain of the problem, looking at it. So one thing I do know for certain that x has to be greater than 0. All right? How do I know that? If we're equal to 0, I'd be dividing by 0, and I see a radical root x, so it's got to be greater than 0 for a real number. Let me write this over here. X minus x root x must be greater than 0. I'm going to factor an x out from that. And what do you get there? You get 1 minus root x. That has to be greater than 0. Put a number line down. What's my number line going to be? Again, I know my x has to be greater than 0. The other place where I'd see the a 0 is at 1. I'll put this over here. All right? So what would happen at 1? Well, I get division by 0, right? So let me just point out, between 0 and 1, take a test point, I don't know, like 0.5, what do you get? You get positive numbers. All right? So if you put a 0.5 there. Now if I took a number like 4, for example, I'd be getting negative numbers. So the domain of this problem over here, right, the domain of this thing, it's only going to work out between 0 and 1. Right? That's kind of important to look at that. And that's why, Sage was looking at this thing, and that's why I'm thinking maybe some of the errors are popping up. And kind of looking at the antiderivatives, go back over here. Whoops, I'll get this over here. Got this over here. And certainly, it looks fine. I mean, certainly the domain of that is going to be restricted by this over here. We're just between 0 and 1 in that one as well. Thank you.